Hello to my Leos. All right, Leos. Hopefully, you all had a great weekend. Hopefully, your plan is to have an even better week. Keep the vibrations high. Let's get into it, Leos. Let's get right into it. Let's focus on the sixth house, right? Sixth house is about health, work habits, daily routines, fitness, pets, service to others, diet, spiritual practices, right? Even though you are a fifth house, I'm going to focus on the sixth house. That's being in receiving mode, download messages coming through, right? Being very meticulous, looking at things through an objective lens, right? And how you can really analyze things, just being in receiving mode. You know, when I talk about like taking the super Leo cape off and just being in hermit mode and just analyzing things, just taking a minute to just kind of analyze some things. And just how you receive messages that are being sent out, whether it's a wink, a stare, a wave, a email, a text message. How are you receiving messages that are being sent out? Are they directed at you? Are they not directed at you, right? Or how are you receiving things, right? Let's get into it. Let's get right into it. Let's get into it. So attract good fortune, Psalm 74. So if your manager says, I'm looking for someone to take the lead on a project, and they just said someone, they didn't say who, right? They said someone. I'm looking for somebody. I'm looking for somebody to take the lead on a project. Sometimes it's good to just sit back and say, let me pray about this first. Let me see what else I got on my let me see what else I got on my plate first. Before I just dive right in. Let me check. Let me look at my home life. My manager is saying, yeah, I got this project I want somebody to take the lead on, but is it going to inundate me and overwhelm me in some way, shape, form, or fashion? Is it something that I could just pray about, like really just give it to source, like pray about it and or do I need to become familiar with the situation to pray about it? No, you really don't. You just pray, pray for clarity. Pray that source's will be done. There, that's a prayer right there. Pray, source, I pray that your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. If that's your prayer, thank you, source, that your will is being done on earth as it is in heaven. Who hasn't heard the model prayer? So, to attract good fortune, that's what source is trying to help somebody. It's not just in paper and coins, money. You talking about fortune. You're fortunate enough to remember that, right? 7 and 4 is 11. This is where you get off the fence. 7 and 4, 11. 11 is a master number. It symbolizes light. To become enlightened, you're going to source, the creator. You don't have to become familiar by getting on the phone, calling around, asking a bunch of questions. You go straight to source. There we go. Shift reality. So 732, luck is a mindset. Your angels want you to be ready for some lucky breaks headed your way, right? So when you are in a negative mindset, negative forces are attracted to reinforce it. So however, when you feel lucky, forces that reinforce that feeling come in. Take several pauses throughout the day to repeat the mantra, things always work out for me, and simply feel lucky. See? Yeah. Throat chakra, that color blue right there. That's right. Source wants somebody to start praying about some things just as much as you talk about it to other people. Start praying about it. Praying to source for clarity and direction. let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. And then be in receiving mode while you're in hermit mode. And that's temporarily in hermit mode. That's not like, y'all know what I'm saying. Hermit mode. Like, you know, your schedule. Scheduling some time to kind of go into your, what is it called? Men call it man cave. I don't know. Women call it women cave. Man cave, woman cave. So let's get into it. So, yeah. Here we have Queen of Swords. And this could be man or woman right here. Just like putting the lower, this right here, this right, putting the lower emotions behind. Okay, you're carefully vetting your thoughts. So if it's lower emotions, negativity, putting it behind this, locking them up, like putting this negative thoughts about something. No, I don't want that in here, because they will come, but it doesn't mean that you're going to have to keep them contaminating. You know, well, I heard this and somebody told me that and I thought this and that, talking. Then you won't be able to contain it in here. I'm trying to keep it high vibrational, right? Shifting in reality, right? That's how you're going to have a breakthrough. That's how you're going to have a breakthrough. Because otherwise, you're going to keep going back down. You know, you have much more to think about. And just that overthinking, just giving way too much thought to something. Or somebody that you love, it shouldn't take that long. You say you love somebody, it's taking that long to think, to pray for somebody. To get off the fence. Yeah, and 6 of Wands here, because spiritually y'all may part ways in the sand spiritually, because that's what the Wands energy is. Fire, that's spirit. It's spirituality in action. It takes somebody that long to take action to pray for somebody because you have spiritual differences. So that's what Source is trying to help somebody learn how to do, is that you're having faith in just your prayers here. Somebody's back in the center stage now. Is that, yeah, you learn how to surrender to Source. And by keeping your cup of water full, pouring into yourself, showing compassion towards yourself, and like reflecting that compassion towards other people. Like, I may not agree with spiritually what they agreeing with, but hey, listen, it's all love. I'm sending out prayers. I don't need to be familiar with every little detail of everything going on. I don't need to get on the phone and call this person, this person, this person. I'm just going to pray and meditate. There it is. Pray and meditate on it. I'm going to see that Sources will be done, whatever that may be. And I'm going to get myself up and going about my day. So here's the 4 of Wands here. So 7 and 4 is 11. Because something feels like home for somebody. Something feels like home for somebody. Like somebody loves, you know, like letting their inner child come out and play. Yeah, so it looks like when you and somebody get together, y'all act like teenagers, like having a lot of fun. That's what I feel like. You and somebody, y'all get together, y'all have a lot of fun when y'all get together. It could be 2 men, 2 women, 2 whomever, man, woman, whoever. Y'all have fun like teenagers, or y'all used to have fun when y'all was teenagers together. Like together, y'all have fun, but when y'all are apart, that's when an enemy comes in and starts talking about the differences. Who looks better? Who's smarter? Who's this? Who's that? Who's X, Y, and Z? And it's like the enemy plays tricks on somebody's mind when you're apart from somebody that you love. And so it's like that's something that has to be worked on. That's where you're starting off with the Queen of Swords here. If the enemy can get to somebody that fast, what's the motive? That's the Ace of Swords. That's where the breakthrough is going to come in. It's like you going back through your mind, like where did this start from? Like who started this? What kind of spirit is attached to that? What kind of divisive spirit is attached to that? Yeah, who is it? I'm seeing this V here. This V could be a letter V. Could be a letter V. I'm seeing this right here. Right here. That letter V could be significant to somebody. almost like being around energies that feel like there can only be one victorious energy in the family. You know, that energy, uh right, like there's some yeah, where people almost feel like there can only be one successful energy in the whole family. Like, where does that come from? And so, in Pythagorean numerology, that number four here, that four here is connects us with V, right? Connects us with V. Somebody has a it's their way or the highway kind of a spirit. It's like somebody has a God complex, almost like, or they're influenced by a God complex. So somebody could be influenced by a God complex, like there can only be one victorious energy in the whole family, right? Some kind of spirit. And somebody is now sitting down thinking, like going back through their memory, like, I gotta surrender to source. I gotta surrender to source, because who in the family who has that spirit of division? They gotta keep everything divided. Like, all right, here we had a star card. So you're thinking about your future now. This is 11th house, right? Somebody's thinking about their future now. Somebody's now thinking about, okay, let me find out what my purpose is. Let me think about my future. You know, let me think about my future. Because that's what's going to help somebody, is getting away from divisive spirits who don't know how to use their fire properly. So somebody inspires and motivates people, and you 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 give people a lot of clarity. But when you're around those type of energies who like to just create divide within family, source is saying to you, that is not a team spirit. That is not a team spirit. Something is going to have you go back down memory lane. Like, it's going to take you all the way back to the very beginning, as far back as you can remember, how they used to talk around people. Yeah. It could have been about like how somebody used to talk about maybe somebody's, whoever was the head of the household, like that, talk about somebody's father maybe. Maybe somebody used to talk about the men in people's family. But somebody's going to go back to their childhood. Somebody used to talk about the men in people's family around the kids. Almost like and it could be a man or a woman. They used to talk about the men in the family in a very negative way, though. And just so we're crystal clear, this has nothing to do per se about anybody's sexuality or preference. Just so we're crystal clear, because there are some straight women who really have an issue with men. I mean, let's just call it for women. Some straight women hate men. I mean, they do. They got an issue with whoever, and you got some women who date the same sex that don't have an issue with men at all, or vice versa. This is just a mixed bag of whoever, but source is saying, but something is going to bring you all the way back to how somebody used to talk about men, in a very hyper, like not hyper, but in a very toxic, masculine way. Somebody used to talk about men in a really bad way. But you're going to have to go back through your memory. This is not about how many times somebody's been married. People get married and get a divorce. It's not about this. Not my, but I'm talking about the way they used to talk about men. That's what this is. Because somebody's going back through their mind, completely vetting their yeah. Because it's a spirit. It's a divisive spirit. Because a person who, you know, like I said before, there are people who close out cycles, they move on. They don't have anything negative to say about men. They just move on. They're still very fair minded. You know, they just move on. But then you got some people who they can't hide it. They hate men. I mean, for real. So yeah. Here's Queen of Pentacles here. Somebody is down to earth and quite relatable. Yeah. Yeah, so you can't just, like I said, when you're just simply familiar with something, you don't have all the facts on something. You don't have all the facts on something. That can give a very false sense of something. You give a very false sense of something, assuming something. There's how many things, just assuming something is a truth when it's a lie. If it's a woman, I'm looking at the Queen of Swords. If it's a straight woman, talk to other straight women. There's plenty of information on social media. You got plenty of straight women out here that hate men. I mean, they don't even try to hide it. And you got some women out here that are dating same sex. They don't have an issue with men. They just move on with their lives. I mean, yeah. So somebody is waking up to something. You're taking a leap of faith. Somebody is taking a leap of faith. Here we have the Three of Wands here. Yeah, you're closing out something with two energies that have been apart. You're closing out something with two energies that's been apart. Yeah. And you're learning how to rise above some kind of judgment. You're learning how to rise above some kind of judgment as you're sitting on your throne, carefully vetting your thoughts. There's been a lot of lies floating around something. A lot of lies been floating around. So source is saying somebody is learning how to shift some kind of a reality of believing that, because that would be like somebody saying you're lucky, right? So that's what I'm saying for you. Somebody's going back to something that's nostalgic to you, something from your own childhood, maybe creating, tapping into something that is familiar to you from your own childhood. I don't know what it is. It could be maybe you play instruments, maybe you like to sing, maybe you like to paint, maybe something creative that you like to do, something that you're familiar with that helps you not fall for some kind of bait. You feel like you're being baited into something. That's what you're connecting with. That is what you're connecting with. So when you're apart from people and you're baited into something from somebody that you have spent time around, and it's like y'all have had fun together in your teenage years, laughing, joking, and talking. Or when y'all get together, y'all like teenagers. So a new start is coming. And somebody goes right into believing something. So, all right. Let me see. So that's another way somebody's going to attract good fortune. That's another way somebody's going to start attracting good fortune. Yeah. So somebody may be getting a massage, kind of working out the kinks, just so you can close out a cycle. Learning how to close out a cycle. All right. Again, shifting a mindset. Luck is a mindset. expansiveness. So eternity is far more creative than the rigid, constrained, and exhausted ego. No more edging source out. All right. Let's see. Shine bright. So it's never a mistake to give of yourself. Some will take it for granted. Others may take advantage of it, but don't allow bad energies to overpower your light. Don't allow bad energies to overpower your light. Where there is hope, don't believe that past defeats or disappointments will keep you from succeeding. True success grows from the lessons. A hopeful heart never gives up. Where is the other? Let's see what else we got going on here. Yeah, so somebody's now learning to think about their future, keeping your vibrations high. And here we have spiritual work. Somebody's a light worker. So, open your heart to a spiritual career and heal the human heart. And also express your creative self. So somebody's gone through a dark night of the soul to step into the light. And this is a choice, right? This is a choice. All of this is a choice. When somebody is like feeling like they're at a it's a choice to believe whatever you hear about people. So that's what I hear. That's what I'm seeing for you. But a new start, like I said, is coming, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.